Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn It Easy. Today let's take up the topic living things. What are living things? When you touch something like a plant or an animal, do you feel it move? Do you feel it respond? Do you feel that it's alive? Let's look into this chapter more. Let's see the characteristics of living things. Living things are made up of cells. They grow and develop. They reproduce. They use resources. And they move and respond to a stimuli. Organisms. What is an organism? The living things are called organisms. So there are two major types of organisms. It means there are two major types of living things, the unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. The unicellular organisms are made up of one cell, and the multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. And some of the multicellular organisms have specialized cells. So what are these specialized cells? The specialized cells perform some specific function in multicellular organisms. Remember, specialized cells are present only in multicellular organisms and not in unicellular organisms. For example, in animals and plants. In animals, cell becomes cell muscle or blood cells. And in plants, cells are found in roots, stems, and leaves. Think, what if multicellular organisms did not have specialized cells and all perform the same function like any other cells? I'm sure there wouldn't be a shape and some functions wouldn't be as it has to be. For example, the roots might not suck in the water. The leaves might not turn green. A lot of things happen. Now differentiate the unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms just from the information that you got now. Unicellular organisms, they are made up of single cells. The multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. That's the first point. And the second point is all the functions of the cell are performed by a single cell only. All the functions of the cell are performed by multiple cells in multicellular organisms. And in unicellular organisms, they usually reproduce by cell division. But in multicellular organisms, they usually reproduce by sexual or asexual reproduction. The examples of unicellular organisms are bacteria and yeast. The example of multicellular organisms are human, animals, and plants. So we saw the characteristics that living things grow and develop. So each living thing grows through a life cycle. They have their life cycle. So unicellular organisms grow because they take in water and food. How about the multicellular organisms? Their cells divide and increase in number. As they grow, they also develop or change and mature. For example, a baby. As the baby grows, they develop and become an adult. So during the development, they go through many changes. Now look at the picture. The egg goes through a life cycle to become a frog. So in between, you see the changes and development in them. It turns into a tadpole, then an adult frog, then a frog. And how about a chicken? From the egg, it hatches into a small chick. And then it turns into a hen. Likewise, in insects as well. Even insects go through their life cycle. Let's see what's next. Living things reproduce. So what is a reproduction? Reproduction is a process in which the organisms produce new organisms or offsprings. So unicellular organisms reproduce by simply copying themselves and dividing into two identical cells. But multicellular organisms reproduce through sexual or asexual reproduction. When organisms reproduce, it passes the traits to their offspring. So what does trait mean? It means the characteristics like eye color, hair or fur color, tooth or beak shape. Look at the picture. The dog has passed its characteristics to its puppy, and the monkey has passed its characteristics to its baby monkey. Very beautiful picture, right? Next is living things uses resources. Living things, they obtain the energy from the resources available in the environment. They use the resources like water, plants, or eating the prey. They, in the sense, animals. And the plants use the resources like soil, water, sunlight. So each and every living thing uses the resources available in the nature. But not only for energy, plants and animals use resources to build their homes, like birds build their nest, and some animals burrow into the soil. Just remember the picture. And bears and wolves, they make dens in the cave. So many more to learn about the resources. But let's stop here and move on to the next topic. As living things move and respond to a stimuli. A stimulus is any action that causes or changes an activity in an organism. What does that mean? If there is an action, there is an immediate response to that action. Some cause of threat, there is an immediate response. So something that causes living thing to change is called the stimulus. The example, animals and plants respond to the changes in the environment. Now think, what could be the stimulus and response in this picture? If there is some threat from the water or around them, that would be the stimulus. And the immediate response would be that these animals would escape. They would try their hard to escape, and that would be the response. That immediate reaction to the stimulus is the response. Okay, now let's get into the vocabulary. Though the topic was small, it was quite interesting, right? So now, so quick. Let's get into the vocabulary. Organism, cell, unicellular, multicellular, reproduction, and stimulus. I hope you guys liked the video and understood the topic. Please like and subscribe to my channel and do share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching the video.